Thank you, sir. I would request Uttam Mane sir to come on dais and also Sandeep Chintawar sir to come on dais. I request Uttam Mane sir to felicitate Mr. Bharat Panchal. Sir, minute. CSI IT 2020-2016 Best CRO of the Year has been awarded to Mr. Bharat Panchal. I request Sandeep Chintawar sir to give him the award. Please, let's have a great round of applause for him. Thank you, sir. There are three announcements to be made. The very first announcement is regarding the feedback. The very first announcement regarding feedback is nothing but you have just turn on your Wi-Fi, connect to CSI IT 2020 and please give your feedback on CSI conference that has been done. In this, if you are not getting CSI 2020 app that has been loaded, please go to the browser and type csi.app and give your feedback. The second one is regarding to the parallel tutorial session that has been conducted on the second floor. It's on big data analytics, that is big complex data made simple. It has started. Please, people those who would like to join that particular session can proceed. Third one is regarding the Project Management Institute is conducting a national conference from 17th to 19th November. The details of the same is there at the counter. One more announcement. There are 3 lucky tips arranged by Vista Infosys. We request you to put your visiting cards at the counter. That's it. Thank you. Coming towards the next part that we have is the panel discussion. The panel discussion topic is the rise and rise of ransom. Top 5 reasons ransomware can penetrate your cyber defense and what you can do about it. For this, I would like to call the panel chairperson on stage, Mr. Shankar Jadhav, Head Strategy, Legal, Commercial, Infrastructure, Marketing and Corporate Communication BSE. With it, I would also like to call the panel members Amit Godkar, VP CISO, Motilal Oswal, Fin Services, Kiran Komatla, AVP IT Burger King, Ashutosh Jain, CISO Axis Bank, Bhuvesh Shukla, EVP Business Technology, Finopatech.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Good afternoon to all of you. I am very glad to be here with the panel that we are and the topic that we are discussing. Many of you may be aware, but up to now, in cyber world, the human beings were just playing like we play with toys. There were viruses, there were trojans, and there were many things, malwares and adwares. They were only toys. Because in the end, the game is not only to harm you. The game is what would I get out of it. Today, I believe after 2015, when the world became aware that the whole idea is to make more money out of this. In the next 2 years, I believe the biggest threat in cyber world is going to be ransomware. And what better place to have ransomware than the place where people know how to do chirimiri when they break a signal, or to the revenue authorities. So India is today likely to become the ransomware capital of the world. You heard in the morning Vijay Kumar speaking that Nigerians of the world, and I don't know whether you know how Nigeria is, if they are smarter than Indians and can make money out of India, there is a huge world there which creates ransomware and makes money. And remember, they also got to know that India में अगर 20 पैसे में phone चलता है, तो you collect 10,000 rupees from each person, that's a huge number. So instead of attacking only big companies, the ransomware attacks very, very small companies. Many times those small companies are more afraid of the police. Brijesh was complaining why people are scared to give data to the government, because many of the businessmen do not have everything clean. They don't want to get caught somewhere, so it's better to pay ransom. So we are going to talk on this topic, and I would like the panel members to start giving their views. Maybe let's start with Kiran here, and I'll give him the mic.
Good afternoon. I was very happy to join this panel. This is a very important topic today in the cyber world. The security is a key concern, but at what cost to the company is to be analyzed by the company and the industry. That is very important. Nowadays, what happens is a company investing in technology should be, the mindset of investing into technology should change, and they should think for what they are investing. The investment in technology is not only just for enabling the processes, but also to secure the information of the company. So there is a responsibility coming from the management of the company. The other best thing which has to come from the company is the awareness. We all use different technology devices, and we really don't care of the technology consequences. See, I'm representing a retail organization where I'll be having thousands of people working in my organization, and there are people who are very not used to use computers before, but they join in the organization and they have to man computers, and they will be operating on different instruments, but they don't know really what are the consequences it's going to happen. Say for example, I have a store or a restaurant where we'll be having a Wi-Fi. Is Wi-Fi, what kind of consequences it is going to give if it is misused has to be clearly made. The awareness has to be created. That is very important. As a technology enablers, as a drivers, technology team has to create awareness to teams and in the and the employees in the company to use them in a right way, and also to create awareness of cyber security. Because now the topic is ransomware. It is mostly seen if you see the history of ransomware and search in net also, you will find top countries like US being attacked. 54% of US companies has been attacked. 60% of UK companies have been attacked. They have been attacked and they have been recorded, and they have a statistical data on which the attacks happened. But in India, we don't have any data to say how many companies have been attacked, and is they really paid for it, or is there is any solution for it. There is no proper data. So the awareness on this is very important, and every second company in India is also being attacked because there is a awareness challenge. So I think awareness makes a big difference for protecting ourselves as a preventive method. And coming to the solution, from a technology point of view, as a technology leaders, we should make sure that our systems are upgraded. Our systems have a highly protected security. Just now we saw how many layers of security have to be brought to a system. No matter if it is a small organization or a big organization, attack is same. So I think from a security point of view, we have to make a regular audits, make sure our operating system to a level of end user devices, everything is updated with a proper security protection tools. So this is very important.
What Kiran mentioned is only from the viewpoint of security, etc. But I believe I'll give Amit the mic because he can talk about how many cases he's detected and how many he could stop and what are the ways he has done the work.
I'm Bhuvanesh. Amit is sitting that side. I come from a company called as Paytech. This is a payment bank which is coming up in the next month. Now, as it was rightly said that the ransomware is a very, very big threat in India because most of the businesses are unstructured, and especially when we talk about small business people, it's a very big challenge because they themselves they don't know. Okay, I mean, when they are visiting any site, when they are browsing the net, what is coming up to them, and they are afraid of sharing the data. They are afraid of. They are afraid. Can you hear me? Yeah. They are afraid of sharing the data. But if you take example of a company called as known as a payment bank, there the challenge is much more higher. Because what happens is that payment bank is about banking the unbanked, all the poor people who are living in the villages, the people who have not seen banking for so many years. So now what happens is that the way we operate is that we have merchants who help the poor people, who help the underprivileged people to transfer money from one place to another. These merchants, we find it very difficult to convince them that okay, you need to be secure. What we need, if we have to bring, in order to control the ransomware, if you look at the history, ransomware is what? It is an application which stops functioning. Either it will lock the screen or it will encrypt all the files which are there on the target system, whether it's a mobile device or it's a laptop or it's a desktop. So what happens is that the user is stuck, and then the user has to pay some ransom to them, to the people who have infected the system or to the organization. And now the thing is that even if we talk about our branches, bank branches, if we talk about the merchants, if we tell them that look, we are whitelisting that only these kind of sites you can go through, or if we say that okay, we are going to put an endpoint security, right? So what happens that people will resist and people will try to apply. Some people will go and learn from somewhere, and if you put an endpoint security, they'll try to break and they try to, because what happens is that a typical employee, a typical merchant, when it's not doing business, when they are using the machine out of the business, they want to visit everywhere freely, and this is the biggest threat, and this is the challenge we are also facing into our own organization. Right. So what happens is that if you look at the infections which have come in the past from 2013 to 2016, if we look at the McAfee data says that 700,000, but whereas if you look at the semantic data says that 8.8 million people were infected, and so much money was being paid. Now, how to handle that? The first and the easiest is that we need to patch our systems. We need to manage the configuration of the systems, or else we need to whitelist the application. This is the where in my organization, this is the biggest challenge which I am facing, where I have to say that okay, this particular device can only visit these areas or these IPs, right? So this is the biggest challenge which I am facing. The bank is going to start next month. So as Mr. Jadhav said, that the challenges we have not yet faced in the ransomware area. We are the largest BC banking organization in India, but there what happens is that there we are dealing in a much more controlled fashion, and what happens is that we operate through the leading banks which already have a significant security in place. Now what happens is that apart from the patch and configuration management, and another important aspect is the governance, right? We have to make our people aware, and also we have to make sure that, as Mr. Panchal was saying, is that if I have been certified by PCI DSS, if I have been certified by ISO 27001:2013, I have got all my ISMS processes in place, doesn't mean that I am secure, right? What will happen is that if my people bypass certain processes, what will happen is that the infection is going to get into my system, right? And if I go back, 26 years I am into IT industry, and we have started seeing the viral infections way back in 80s, early 90s, when Happy Birthday Joshi and those viruses, the simple ones started coming in. What we used to do those days was that we used to immediately look at the memory. Whenever there was a wrong behavior in the system, we used to look in the memory, and then what we used to do, we used to use Norton utilities to see if something wrong has come into the memory and try to make it zero and then repair the boot sector. The same approach even lies there. Even my laptop today, I don't need a very strong vaccines, etc. because the moment I see a lot of this activities going on, I need to reboot my machine. Second thing is that I need to make sure that the cell phone which I am using is from Google, because the Android patch which comes, the first one comes with the Nexus or the Google device. So immediately the device is patched. Second thing is that what we do is that when we are working in our laptops, what we do is that we try to defer the updates, because everybody feels that if I have to take an update, my half an hour is being gone. The update will get downloaded, the update will get installed, and then again I have to take a reboot, right? So people try to defer that to the end of the week, and this is a bad practice, because what will happen is that the day zero attack can get into the system through the malware. Irrespective of the best system being used, what will happen is that through malware, the biggest challenge of ransomware is not exactly the ransomware now. What has become is that the BitLocker, the application, the Russian hacker application which runs behind that, which brings into Zeus into your system. And Zeus is an infection. What it will do is that it will steal all the passwords and the credentials into your device, and it will also come to know that what will happen, that where are your bank accounts, and will try to, in the meantime, what it will do is that it will make you busy through the ransomware and try to take all the cash from your accounts. So it is becoming a much bigger challenge, and we have to make sure that we do not fall into prey of these kind of stuff. So what happens is that the ransomware, and apart from that, another challenge which I am facing in my organization is that irrespective of the best kind of security we put in, but if a malware comes in and steals the credential, whatever firewall, I put 3 levels of firewall, I put SIM, I put everything, PIM, everything, but what happens, the right credential is always going to get through the system. And these malicious attacks will going to get into the system, and they are going to cause as much loss as possible. So there has to be a right combination of putting the security walls as well as the governance, which has to be implemented through the process, through the people, and through the awareness. This is what I have to say.